What if I told you the 2026 Honda Civic just changed in ways most people won't notice at first glance, but could matter every single day you drive it? Honda claims this is a smarter, more refined Civic, yet some of the biggest updates aren't about looks or horsepower at all. From subtle design tweaks to tech decisions that might surprise longtime Civic fans, this launch raises one big question. Did Honda quietly fix the Civic's biggest weaknesses or create new ones? Before you decide if this is the best Civic yet or one worth skipping, there's a lot you need to see first. The Honda Civic has been one of the most recognizable names on the road for decades, especially in the US, where it's known for being affordable, reliable, and surprisingly fun to drive. For 2026, Honda isn't starting from scratch, but they are making calculated changes aimed at keeping the Civic relevant in a market that's shifting fast towards smarter tech, cleaner designs, and better value. This new Civic is designed for everyday drivers, first-time buyers, and long-time fans who want efficiency without giving up style. At first glance, it looks familiar, but look closer and you'll notice subtle updates that signal Honda is paying close attention to where compact cars are headed next. Now let's get into where the 2026 Honda Civic really starts to show its personality. At first glance, Honda hasn't reinvented the wheel, but the details tell a more interesting story. The exterior feels sharper and more confident, with cleaner lines, slightly reworked front and rear styling, and lighting that gives the Civic a more upscale presence, especially at night. It still looks like a Civic, but one that's grown up and knows it. Step inside and the changes become more meaningful. The cabin feels calmer and more refined, with improved materials and key touch points and a layout that's clearly designed for everyday driving. Controls are intuitive, screens are easier to read at a glance, and Honda has focused on reducing clutter rather than adding flashy gimmicks. It's the kind of interior that feels comfortable on a 5-minute commute and a 5-hour road trip. On the road, the Civic continues to play to its strengths. It's not trying to be the fastest car in its class, but it delivers a balanced, confidence-inspiring drive. Steering feels precise, the suspension is tuned for real-world roads, and it remains one of the easiest cars to live with day after day. Fuel efficiency is still a major highlight, especially for buyers who want to save money without switching to a full hybrid or EV just yet. But this is also where some questions start to creep in. While the Civic feels smoother and more polished, performance gains are modest rather than dramatic. Enthusiast drivers may notice that Honda is clearly prioritizing comfort and efficiency over raw excitement. And while the tech upgrades are welcome, some features that competitors now offer as standard may still be tied to higher trims. This is the moment where expectations meet reality. Once the 2026 Honda Civic leaves the spec sheet and hits real roads, the story becomes much clearer and more surprising than you might expect. Push the throttle, and while it doesn't launch aggressively, the power delivery is smooth and predictable, making the car feel confident rather than frantic. Through corners, the Civic still shows the DNA that made it a favorite for years. The steering remains sharp, the chassis feels planted, and there's a sense of control that many rivals struggle to match. It's not trying to impress you in the first 5 seconds. It wins you over the longer you drive it. But here's the twist. When you start comparing it back-to-back with newer rivals, the Civic's strengths also expose its limits. Acceleration feels competent, not thrilling. Some competitors feel more energetic off the line, and that difference becomes noticeable when merging onto highways or making quick passes. Honda clearly chose refinement over excitement, and that choice won't please everyone. And then there's the value moment. When you line up the features you actually get for the price, the Civic suddenly feels less like the obvious winner it once was. It's still well-equipped, still efficient, still easy to live with, but the gap has narrowed. What used to be a clear advantage is now a close fight. That's the turning point. The 2026 Civic doesn't fail, it evolves. But whether that evolution feels like a smart step forward or a missed opportunity depends entirely on what you expect from a modern compact sedan.
Because in the final section, we'll answer the one question that really matters. Is this still the Civic you should buy, or has the competition finally caught up? So here's the final verdict on the 2026 Honda Civic. Honda didn't chase extremes, and that's both its greatest strength and its biggest limitation. The Civic remains one of the most balanced compact sedans you can buy. It's comfortable, efficient, easy to live with, and thoughtfully designed for real-world driving. Nothing feels rushed, forced, or overdone, and for many buyers, that's exactly the point. The biggest wins are refinement, usability, and long-term value. The interior feels more mature, the ride is smoother, and the driving experience still inspires confidence without demanding constant attention. For commuters, first-time buyers, and anyone who wants a dependable daily driver that quietly does everything well, the Civic continues to make a strong case. But it's not perfect. Performance lovers may wish Honda had been bolder, and value-focused shoppers might notice that some features are locked behind higher trims. With rivals pushing harder on power, design, and tech, the Civic no longer wins by default. It has to be the right choice for the right buyer. In today's U.S. market, that matters. Buyers are more informed, more selective, and less loyal than ever. The 2026 Honda Civic reflects a shift towards smarter, more efficient evolution rather than flashy reinvention. And that approach may influence how other brands update their best sellers in the years ahead. So the real question isn't whether the Civic is good, it clearly is. The question is whether this version of the Civic fits your priorities. Is balance more important than boldness? Refinement more important than raw excitement? Let me know what you think. Would you choose the 2026 Honda Civic, or is the competition finally more tempting? Drop your thoughts in the comments, hit like if this helped, and subscribe for more honest, no-hype car reviews.